Welcome to the Fright Fiends podcast. In these episodes, some of my best fiends and I turn horror movies inside out and establish if they're delightfully sadistic or just plain horror deficient. Welcome to Fright Fiends, I'm Jess.
And I'm Mandy.
And today we are talking about Fright Night, 1985. And boy, do we have a time for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, so right before we started recording, we made sure we looked up everybody, just because I like having, like, oh yeah, I forgot I knew him from there kind of thing. And
we didn't know him from there.
We didn't know him from there, but, so alright, we're going to start from the top. Fright Night came out in 1985. It was a budget of $9.25 million, which I want to talk shit on, but I like the effects. The effects are the best part.
I really, really like the effects in this movie.
The effects are hands down the best part.
This is one of the first ones that, like, I've been super excited for because I'm in love with this movie.
Yeah, so this was a first watch for you.
Yes.
This was not a first watch for me. This is like the start of my childhood trauma. This is one of the movies that scared the shit out of me as a child.
And as a child, you mean like 3?
Yeah, like literally like 3. And the reason, so I shouldn't have watched this movie. I don't know why. It was my grandmother left me in the living room to watch this movie. Like, she didn't know it came on. Like, something had gone off and this had just come on. And this is back in the day when, like, you'd watch HBO and it's on channel 14 and, like, you just finished a normal movie and now this fucking shit comes on. And our basement in my grandmother's house was identical to their basement. Like, I rewatched it, you know, to do this podcast, and it's the same. I was right. It was the same. It was the same fucking thing. I was like, maybe my kid brain decided it was... No. Their basement looked like this basement. It looked just like this basement and had the little fucking windows everywhere. It was the same basement. And, like, my grandmother would be like, go downstairs, because when you have a 3-year-old, you're like, finally, something useful. Go downstairs and get a soda. Or go downstairs and get me a can of corn or whatever. Yeah. So... I was, for the longest time, terrified of this basement because of this movie. This movie is what early traumatized me with and so I was worried it wouldn't hold up. I was really worried it would not hold up. And personally, I think it definitely did for all of different reasons.
It holds up. I was not expecting this movie to be this good.
Yeah, it's great.
I have put it on. I was at another house the other day, and I put it on in the background. Because it's just so good.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's just good.
It's a fun little time. It's not terrifying. It's not going to rock your world.
Unless you're 3.
Yeah. I mean, it's cheesy, but it's fun. You're having a good time watching this movie.
Yeah.
It's so 80s. If you want 80s, oh boy, you got it. It's as 80s as it gets.
I was pleasantly surprised when you were like, we're going to watch this movie. I was like, okay. And looking at the cover... This was so... I didn't expect any of this.
No.
No, the cover does not...
No, it does not.
It does not say anything.
And this movie says... You know how, like, you get excited when, you know, they say the title of the movie?
Yeah.
This movie says its fucking name 400 times. Like...
Oh, yeah.
You know what movie you're watching. They were certain. They were putting it in your subconscious. Like, yeah. Fright Night, Fright Night, Fright Night, Fright Night. So, I love this movie. I'm... very happy we rewatched it. I'm very happy you watched it for the first time.
Me too.
I did not, because I'd seen it so long ago. I think I'd seen it once since when I was like 9 or 10. And I hadn't seen it since. And I'm in my late 20s now. So, was not ready for it to be this good. I'm like, I have hyped this up in my brain so far. And you know what? I didn't. That was a valid thing to be like, oh, that's creepy.
Yeah.
It's the effects are the best part of this movie.
Absolutely.
Hands down. Budget was $9.25 million. I think I already said that, but... whatever. Box office was $24.9 million. This was a hit. I think this came in second place in 1985 as the top grossing horror movie. I think Nightmare on Elm Street 2
I can't remember whether it was 2.
No, it was not the first one. I know it wasn't the first one. But I think it was Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is what beat it, which is fine. That's valid. But it really did good. And people really loved it.
Like, it did good.
It did really, really good. And so I looked into, like, the people, because I didn't know who made this movie. I was like, you know, the people. The people made this movie. Tom Holland made this movie. And if you know who Tom Holland is, you know he's He's horror. He directed Thinner. He directed Child's Play. He did a couple Tales from the Crypt episodes. He's done more recent, like, Tom Holland horror stuff. He also wrote the Child's Play screenplay. He wrote Thinner screenplay. He wrote Psycho 2 screenplay. He wrote this. Like, he's pretty... And I mean, like, most of his stuff is older stuff. He doesn't do as much now.
Yeah, but it explains why this movie's so good. It's Tom Holland.
What he knows... he's decent at what he does. He did Child's Play. I mean...
Yeah, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, he did the original Child's Play, and that worked out really well. He made a doll scary. I mean, he's not Tom Mancini. I'm not taking Tom Mancini's credit. Tom Mancini made that character, but he was able to put it in something real and usable. So, like, I just like him. I think he did good with this. We're going to go through the actors, just because why not? The first one we're going to go through is Charlie, who is the main protagonist, allegedly. I fucking hate Charlie.
I back it.
Every teenager in this fucking movie reminds you why you hate teenagers.
Or that you're supposed to hate teenagers.
Yeah, Jesus fuck. And you're following them, so you're supposed to like them a little. I hate every one of these kids. If they all died and the bad guy won, that'd have been a win for me.
Yeah, I was good with that too.
I would have been fucking fine with that.
Yeah.
I think I would have preferred that.
We love this movie, but we're going to talk shit on it. That's just the reality.
Shred this movie, but I love it. It's shredding with care. The only character that needs to live is Roddy McDowall's character, which is Peter Vincent, which is so close to Vincent Price. It's bullshit. Like, I almost called him, I think I wrote in my notes Vincent Price at one point. And I was like, that's not right, but it might as well be.
Yeah. They're very clearly trying to make him Vincent Price.
They made him Vincent Price.
Yes.
They're like, no, because, like, he is VP, and our character's PV. Yeah, no, I got it. Thank you. But, so, Roddy McDowall's been in fucking everything.
Yes.
Not primarily horror, but, like, he's been in a lot. I was starting with Charlie, and he just, his name's William Ragsdale. I've not seen him in anything useful.
That's not a surprise. He's not great in this.
He was not great in this. He's been in a lot of stuff, but lately at least, he's been in, like, one episode here, one episode here, one episode here. I feel like that happens to every actor that's not, like, A-list.
Yeah.
Like, if you're B or below, like, you are gonna be killed on NCIS. Or you're gonna be guilty on NCIS. Like, that's the rules. Like, everybody's been on those kinds of things, and that's kind of what he's doing. I mean, he's an actor, but he's more of a character actor. He's not...
Yeah.
This was his big break, and he became the single most annoying fuck on the planet.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call him believable.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. So, there's Chris Sarandon, who plays Jerry Dandridge, who is the main vampire. He's the main bad guy. And everyone has seen him because you've seen him from, like, one of, like, three things. You've seen him from this, you've seen him from Child's Play, or you've seen him from Princess Bride.
Yep.
And if you haven't seen him, he is the voice of Jack Skellington in Nightmare Before Christmas, which I did not know till I Googled it. So I feel like an idiot, but I didn't know that.
He's one of those actors that, like, you see and you're like, I know him from somewhere, but I don't know where.
Yeah, like, I had no clue who this guy was. The partner in crime for him, we are gonna frequently call his boyfriend, lover, roommate.
Oh my god, I just connected that to what we found out about the other guy.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm done.
We'll
I'm
get there.
dead.
We're getting there. Listen. We're getting there. So he was in Fright Night, and that was pretty much it. He has nothing else to his name. He does, like, producing and writing and stuff like that. But, so the partner's name, I can't remember what his name is even in this. Roommate
Billy?
/ lover?
I think it's Billy.
Oh, that sounds... Yeah, Billy Cole, you're right. He's Jonathan Stark. That's who he is in real life. He does production and stuff like that. He is not... He was just a gay roommate. It's fine.
Yeah.
They are a couple, and we will debate that this entire episode.
There is no debate.
Yeah, this is a very gay movie.
Like, it was the 80s, so this was as, like, gay possible as you can get.
Well, and for a gay person, our dar goes off immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is very... homosexual. This is extremely homosexual, and it fits the horror genre, especially in the 80s, to make gay the bad thing.
Yeah.
The evil thing.
Yep.
I mean, people have connected gay with Dracula forever.
Yep.
And this is just more of a modern take. But it's the same, it's very homoerotic.
Where the monster's hiding in the closet.
Yeah, he literally comes out of a closet at one point. There's so much gay comments in this movie. It's so blatant.
There's so many, like, little things, like fruit and this.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous.
It's constant. So we're gonna bring that up. I will argue all day that this is a metaphor for gays coming out of the closet or becoming a monster while staying in the closet.
Yes.
Like, this is 1,000% a gay movie with really annoying teenagers in it.
Yeah.
Speaking of gay...
movies. Speaking of gay movies.
So Evil Ed is Stephen Geoffrey's.
Or Sam Ritter.
Or, as the gay porn star community knows him as, Sam Ritter. So Stephen Geoffrey's was in this. He was in a couple other little things. But then he got very heavily into gay porn. Like, hardcore gay porn. And apparently for years he said it was his twin brother and people believed him, but it was really him. So Evil Ed, the guy who makes fun of Charlie the entire movie for being gay, which I would also debate that he is gay in this movie.
He's gay in this movie.
Yeah, Evil Ed is definitely gay in this movie. He ended up being in gay porn. So he is real gay in real life, so that's gonna help our case a lot. And I did not know that till a minute.
Yeah. Before we hit record?
A minute before we hit record, I was like, you know what? I didn't look up Evil Ed and I didn't look up Charlie. I don't know why I picked those two to ignore. You know, two of the main ones. I didn't look at them.
And then I found all the covers from the 80s gay porn.
If you want to see something funny,
Google Sam Ritter movie covers.
Yeah, I mean, I support...
Yeah, get it, boy.
Yeah, get it. But, like, 80s to 90s gay porn covers are fucking hilarious. Like... You can't deny that. That shit's funny. It's funny. Especially when he's, like, smiling around, like, 12 men that all don't have clothes.
Kneeling.
Yeah,
around.
Of course he is. But it's just funny. It's not what I expected. Usually it flips the other way where they start in porn and then end up, you know, to get money, and then they end up making it and try and avoid it.
Oh, he made it.
He made it. He has some films. If you don't believe me, go on IMDb. If you don't want to look up anything, trust me, IMDb did not put the covers of any of these movies.
No.
On it. IMDb did not want that. They did not want the covers of these movies on there. If you're uncomfortable with the cover concept, just look at it. Just look at the names.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
You'll figure it out pretty quick. But that was surprising. That was fun. Amy, who is one of the other most annoying people on the fucking planet. Her and Charlie are made for each other because I fucking hate her. Like, I hate her. Part of me's bummed she survives.
Like, her voice alone.
Well, her voice is fine, but she's like, oh, Charlie.
That's what I mean, like
but Charlie.
And
Charlie has
other
ADHD.
Things, and, like, that's always her friggin' voice.
I think that's just who she can't help it.
I know.
I don't think it's her fault. But, so she... Poor Amy. Her real name's Amanda Bierce. She's Marcy in Married with Children, the neighbor. So you've probably seen her if you ever watched that show. She's not in anything else really huge.
Yeah.
That's definitely what I knew her from. I like her as Marcy. So the cast is just really annoying kids and Chris Sarandon and Roddy McDowall.
Yep.
I didn't even look up the mom. She's in 3 scenes. And they plot away the reason she's not around for the rest of it.
Yeah, very quickly. They're like, she works nights. She starts working nights next week. And then she's just gone.
Yeah, she's like, she's working nights, bitch. I told you that. In the beginning of the movie, I told you that. So, I'm going to boil this movie down. There's significant spoilers ahead. There always is. I'll tell you if there's not. What this movie boils down to is a straight kid thinks about gay people.
Yep.
Thinks about being gay.
Yep.
And it's all a metaphor for gayness. Or kid with ADHD continuously gets broken up with by girlfriend because she has no tolerance for his neurodivergency when he gets sucked into looking at something.
Now, to be fair, she was, like, putting herself out there sexually.
No, I hear you, and we'll get there. But, like, that's not the only time she gets unreasonably mad at him so fast.
Yes, I agree with that.
So she just... Every character in this movie is set up as a stereotypical, this is why you're supposed to hate teenagers.
Yes.
Charlie's just a nosy, in-your-business little fuck. Yep. Evil Ed is an obnoxious bad boy. And then Amy's like, I'm Amy. And you're like, yeah, you fucking are. Like, you're Amy. Fuck. I'm every girl ever. Okay, you guys are exhausting. Can someone eat you now? Like, we were all for it, dude. We were all for it.
All for it.
I would have been... The real win would have been... Chris Sarandon and Peter Vincent characters are like, these guys are awful. Let's kill them and you never talk about it.
Yep.
Why don't you start killing teenagers instead of women? Because women were the ones he was eating. Because women are objects. So... There's so much to break apart in this movie, and you don't think there is until you actually sit there and watch it, and you're like, oh, I fucking love this movie, though.
Yeah, there's so many layers to this that it's just insane.
Yeah. So, let's start. Let's get into it. It starts as bad as possible.
Yes.
We watch a terrible soap movie. We watch this movie for like 45 seconds.
Yes.
We hear making out in the background, which... is gross.
And it's not like good makeout. It's like...
teenager makeout?
Disgusting.
Yeah. No teenager makeout movie has ever been, like, good
not
making
as
out.
wet as that was.
No, they're all like that. I think every fucking one of them's like that. It's so off-putting. God damn, guys. I know, you're new to this, but Jesus. And they're sitting on the floor...
next to the bed, which, I don't know, irritated the shit out of me.
It made you unreasonably
mad. I was unreasonably mad. Like, they've got all these pillows on the floor, and, like, why not just be on the fucking bed?
My mom said we couldn't be on the bed. I don't know. So it starts. It immediately starts with her going, hey, Peter Vincent's on, which is Roddy McDowall's character. He's on the TV. And Charlie's like, yeah, but I want to make out. And she's like, no. And he's like, yeah. And she's like, no. And he's like, yeah. And we're like, Jesus fuck, do something. It's been 4 minutes, and all I have heard is a terrible movie and a terrible movie.
Yeah.
That's it.
He keeps trying to put his hand up her shirt. She keeps getting pissed off.
Yeah, like...
and then all of a sudden she's like, wanna fuck?
Well, no. It's not what happens. No. Because she goes, no, I told you, no. And he finally listens.
Yeah, because he's like, Jesus, Amy.
We've been going together almost a year. I have rights to your boobs.
Like, all I hear is stop and no.
Charlie's not a fan of consent, as we'll learn throughout this whole fucking film. Whole fucking movie. Not a fan of consent. It's the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why we had problems. This is why we're fixing them now, guys.
Yeah.
So... Charlie just throws a hissy fit about not getting boobage. And then she gets guilted into boobage.
Yep.
And she does flip 180 completely. Like, she doesn't go straight to boobage.
No, she's like, you want to make love? Like,
yeah, which
what?
is already cringy. But, yeah, so then she gets on the bed, because I guess that's on the bed work. Whereas makeouts were just next to the bed work. Well, Charlie, while he has... the dick of a teenager, he also has the brain of someone with ADHD. So, he immediately does some shit I would do, which is very fucking upsetting, and goes and looks out the window. And the neighbors are moving a coffin into the basement. And he is obsessed with this idea. There's a coffin in the basement. Like, I have eclectic friends. Would not put it past a lot of them to just have a coffin. I know it's the 80s, but, like, is it that deep? Is it that, like, mind-fucking-blowing? There's a girl in your bed who has, by the way, taken her shirt off. You know the shirt she wouldn't let him go up? Yeah, that is off.
Yeah.
It's off. She's got her bra, then she's putting it back on, and she's taking it off, she's putting it back on. She's being weird. And then, because the 44 seconds have passed, she has come to her fucking senses. And is like, Charlie, you're a dick!
Because he has not turned around from the window.
No, he hasn't. Like, which is where I go, hey, ADHD. This kid just has ADHD. He's doing his best. He sucks, but he's doing his best. So, Amy leaves. Amy gets mad. They fight their way down the steps.
Yes.
Loud. They're not quiet about it. They're screaming like they own this fucking house. They are. They're screaming like nobody's home.
They are.
And then, like, she's screaming, we didn't make love! And that's fun and all. But, like, his mom's in the living room.
And handles it very strange.
Handles it real weird. She's like, oh, are you two having a lover spat? That's great. If you won't get a divorce because you've had a lover spat.
Yeah, she quotes some weird statistic. Some percentage of people who don't argue before marriage get divorced or some weirdness. And Charlie's like, Mom, I'm a teenager.
Also, like, two things for that. One, Charlie, that at that point is a dick statement. Like, I have no plans on staying with her mom.
Yeah,
like,
she's standing right there.
She's fucking there. And then his mom's like, oh, thanks, honey, for helping him with homework.
Yeah.
Ma'am, are there 2 brain cells in your brain at least fighting for a thought? Because fucking really?
Because you know they weren't doing homework up there.
Yeah, like, what? Like, so that happens. It is what it is. She's like, bye, Charlie. And Charlie, again, is back at the window. He's like a dog. He's just, once he's looking out the window, he's like, bird.
Yep.
Bird.
That is a really great way to put that.
Fucking bird. Like, he's just gone. She's like, bye, Charlie. Bye, Charlie. And gets mad and leaves. Whatever. So the next day, Charlie goes to school and sees Evil Ed. And Evil Ed apparently has been doing his trig homework. Evil Ed is smarter than Charlie.
Which is a hell of a concept.
Yeah, he's also very homophobic, which is probably because he's gay. Mm-hmm. Evil Ed literally makes a comment like, what you're really like, or something. He says something like that when they're talking about Amy.
Really are, or something like that.
No, it's literally, I wrote it down, what you're really like. When it's referring to Amy. Yeah. And he's like, oh, it's what you're really like. So he's clearly very much like, are you gay? Are you gay? This is 80s version of Are You Gay? Yeah. So it's whatever. We have it in the beginning of this movie. We have a lot of back and forth from the school to home to the school to home, and then at the end of the movie, it's like out into the world, back to the house, out in the world, back to the house. It's like, okay, you didn't need that many places. You could have cut like 6 places out. It would have been fine. So Charlie comes home from school today, and he sees this really hot blonde go into the neighbor's house. And he's like, hubba, 80s teenager. Boys like blonde. Very dumb. The mom and him are talking at the house, and he's like, have you met the people next door? And she's like, no, I haven't. They're probably gay, my luck. Like, something like that. Another gay comment.
Yeah, something like, my luck, it's a carpenter, but he's gay. Like, it's very weird.
So, that night, Charlie's doing homework, and there's a woman that screams outside, and he doesn't know who it is. And the next day, he's at school, he's chilling, Amy comes up, Amy apologizes for, I don't know, they both are like, we're sorry. They don't, I don't get it. I don't get it. So Amy apologizes, but while she's apologizing, the TV in the school cafeteria is on, and the blonde from the night before that he saw go to the neighbor's house, it was found dead. And he heard her scream that night, and he's like, oh my God, my neighbor's a murderer. And Amy was apologizing, but because he has ADHD and started listening to a murder that he thinks he knows something about, she then gets mad at him and, like, grabs a cake and, like, shoves it in his face or something.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's really obnoxious. Like, there was no reason to do that. No. It was so uncalled for. It was so disrespectful. Amy 1000% overreacted that time. Yes. Like, and they both said sorry.
The movie doesn't ever say that he has ADHD.
No, I've decided he has ADHD.
We've decided he has ADHD.
I know, like, one symptom of ADHD, and therefore he has ADHD. I have ADHD, and I look at that. There's no way this kid doesn't have ADHD. He literally can't hear her because he's so focused on what he's seeing. Which, by the way, is a valid thing to be kind of zoned in on. Yeah. The murder of someone that you saw the day before.
He's pretty convinced that his neighbor is a murderer.
Yeah, like, that's a big fucking deal.
Yeah, it's kind of valid.
Yeah, like, you're allowed to be fucking zoned into, like, hey, I saw that girl yesterday alive.
At the same house that I was freaking out about, that, like, there's a coffin going.
And I heard her scream. Yeah. So, it cuts to the roommate of the vampire, So one of the guys, and he's painting all the windows in the basement black.
Yeah.
And he sees Charlie coming up to their house. And Charlie straight up is trying to break into the basement.
Like, legit.
Like, he's using the storm... He's trying to walk into the storm doors. And it's very weird, because, like, why would you just straight up try to do that? Why wouldn't you go to the police with the information you have? So the guy comes out, and the guy's like, hey, what you do? And it's the weirdest interaction.
It's the weirdest interaction.
It's the weirdest
interaction. If somebody was breaking into my house, this is not how I would handle it.
He's like, hey, what you doing?
Kid.
Yeah, and Charlie's like, nothing. He's like, yeah, make sure it stays nothing. But both of them are so weird. Like, both of them have never seen a people before.
Yeah, it was a very strange interaction.
Like, Charlie looks like a psycho immediately.
Yeah.
And this guy looks so evil immediately. Like, they don't try and hide evil in this.
No.
Not Ed. I'm talking about regular evil. Regular bad. So, that happens. It's a very weird interaction. So, he has this weird dream. Who cares? Then we end up seeing him looking out the window, and his next-door neighbor apparently doesn't know windows exist. He's a vampire. Yeah. He's been around for who knows how long, but he hasn't figured out how windows fucking work.
And what a curtain is.
Because he's not even making out with a girl. She's facing away from him. There's 80s nudity. We get titties.
And he's, like, behind her, kissing her neck. He's seducing her.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with he's seducing her. I think it's he's looking as far away from her as possible.
Oh, he's imagining she's a dude.
Oh, 1000%.
Like, she looks all enthralled or whatever, and he looks like he's in a distant, faraway fucking land.
Yeah, like, they have a weak subplot of, like, he has a painting of a bitch he used to know. Now you're just some bitch that I used to know. But it's so fucking, like, I get it, he's bi, it's fine. Like, you could have just said that, like, let it go. But
they'll fuck anything.
Like, yeah, it's so unnecessary. Like, you could have just made him gay, you could have just made him bi, I don't care. But, like, no, they're like, no, he's straight.
Yeah, it was the 80s, we didn't do that.
No. So, Charlie sees this chick, and the guy seducing sees Charlie. And he pulls the curtain down, but his fingers are long.
And weird and pointy, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
Lengthy bitch fingers.
I don't like it. That's the only part of this movie that creeped me out, was his fingers.
Really?
Oh my god, his fingers. Ugh.
You didn't like his fingers?
No, they were gross.
I thought it was the dumbest thing on the planet.
Really?
Like, he's got dumb fingers? Like, that's... His fingers are wonky.
I didn't like it.
I've seen people with really weird thumbs. Maybe that's why I don't care. I don't know. So the vampire, who I don't know if we've said his name yet, his name is Jerry Dandridge, closes the curtains with his creepy-ass fingers.
Weird fingers.
Wrong fingers. And so Charlie's freaking out. Charlie's like, he's got wonky fingers! He must be a demon!
And then I could be wrong here. Like, does it show him biting her or not yet?
I don't think it showed him biting her. It was very close to.
Yeah.
But I think he closed the curtain before he did. But like us as the audience, we're like, that's where he bites. You can only bite one part and it's their clavicle. So Charlie runs and tells his mom, and his mom's like, you're fucking stupid. You're
watching that scary thing again, and you're stupid.
This is one of the only movies that doesn't say that.
No.
Which I love.
Because I know it's constantly on.
It's constantly on. But, like, this is one of the only movies that I've ever seen that doesn't immediately blame TV for problems.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, she does not say anything about the TV show.
No,
if anything,
I can't remember what she says.
The friends are the ones that use it, like...
Oh, that's right.
They use it kind of like...
Yeah.
But they use it more as, like, an outsource rather than anything else.
Yeah.
Like, so, he thinks it's a good idea to run in the backyard and watch.
Yeah, what was that decision?
By the way, with the world's thinnest and weakest bush to hide behind.
Yeah. There was no coverage there.
There was nothing. Like...
It was very strange.
You could have hid behind a 2x4 better.
Yeah.
Like, it's really awkward. So, he's out there and he's laying on the ground. And the... lackey? I don't know what to call him.
Boyfriend?
The boyfriend,
Submissive?
the roommate,
like...
the partner. I don't know, I think he's a power bottom. But
You've made a lot of assumptions into their sex life.
Look, he gets a lot of shit done. He does all the work. So, the roommate is arming a fucking corpse.
Yeah.
Clearly a corpse in a trash bag. And he's apparently got the world's largest trash bags. You gotta get 2 of them and duct tape it together. Like, there's no way that bag is big enough. And he puts it in the back of the car. And then we see a really bad POV shot of Charlie seeing, allegedly, I don't think it ever shows it, but he sees a bat. And then out of nowhere, Dandridge is there.
Yeah. I don't remember seeing the bat.
I don't remember seeing the bat either. I remember being like a first person, like from the bat's perspective. Maybe I'm wrong, but he later on says, "I saw a bat." That's why we're like
right over my head. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Jerry was there. Yeah. So we're like, okay. And Jerry's always got a fucking apple because he's a fruit.
Because he's a fruit. This apple is never explained. There's no other reason for it.
He's chronically No, there is a reason for it.
What is it?
He bit through the core.
Right?
Normal people don't bite through a core.
No, I got that, but that's
the thinly veiled reason
why
this isn't gay.
As a fruit.
He's got a literal fruit
all the time.
Literal fruit. So he bites this apple and it goes through the core. He almost put it in half. Scary apple. And then throws it in Charlie's direction. And Charlie's like, what if he knows I'm here?
Behind this very thin bush.
Behind this extremely thin bush. Like, they're both pretty much just looking at Charlie.
Yeah.
And Charlie won't move. And Charlie's mom made it just worse by coming out the back door and screaming, Charlie! 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 Till Charlie gets up and runs. So we aren't even...
Yeah.
Like, this is the least subtle thing ever. Nothing about this movie.
He's tried to break into their house. He's now, like, spying from the backyard.
It's also just not subtle in any capacity. It's not like somebody's playing something off.
No.
Ever.
No.
They play it off to some adults, but they never even try and play it off to him. They never once are like, hey, you good? Like, I know it's a new house. Like,
yeah.
Immediately they're like, wah, ha, ha.
I know what you are.
A teenager. Right? Like, I don't get it. So, Charlie does try and tell his mom. His mom thinks he's stupid. He tries telling Amy. Amy also thinks he's stupid. Everyone thinks he's stupid. He is immediately going straight to, he's a vampire. His fingers were weird, and I think his roommate moved a body.
Yes.
Which, yeah, you're crazy, dude. You're insane. That's not, you can't just go straight to vampire. There's 50, you could have said murderer.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm going to the police. And they're like, you can't go to the police and tell them you found a vampire. And he's like, I won't tell them that then. I'll just tell him they had something to do with the missing person.
That I saw her there.
That I saw her there. So Charlie brings the cops to the house, which already is really weird. Like, why is he there?
Like, why did the cops bring Charlie with them?
Yeah.
It's very strange.
He's fucking... Yeah, he's talking about homicide. Homicide department's there. And homicide department doesn't just hear this information and just knock on the door like, hey, did you murder somebody? Like, they don't...
And that's pretty much what they do.
This is literally what they do. He's like, hey, I heard you killed somebody.
And, like,
can I see your house?
Right? I know the 80s were different and all, but, like, I was around, it wasn't that different.
Like, fucking what? Like, I heard you killed somebody. Can we come in?
Yeah, Charlie here thinks it was very weird.
Yeah, let me just tell you who the fucking witness is, by the way. Right next door. Right next door.
And he comes with him.
Yeah.
It's very, very weird.
It's super weird. So, the roommate's there. Billy. He's there, Billy, and he's like, well, my roommate's out of town right now. Roommate.
I love that he calls him roommate.
Can't you just say my partner?
But that's, in the 80s, that's what we said.
Yeah, it's your roommate till, like...
you die and need rights to, like, their will and shit.
Yeah, like... yeah, they were best friends. Yeah, I bet they fucking were.
Yeah.
Like, that's how partners work. So, this happens. He brings them, and it immediately goes south. It immediately turns into, like, they're vampires. Like, he just couldn't hold it back any longer.
Does he... I might have filled this in my head. But does he tell them to check the basement?
Yeah. He's
okay.
like, let's go in the basement. Well, but he waits till they're not believing him. And he's like, but he's a vampire. And the cop's like, what? And he's like, yeah, check the basement.
You'll find his coffin. That's right.
There's a coffin in the basement, and Dandridge is in it because he's a vampire. And this guy's like, I am so fucking sorry to waste your time like this. And then immediately, like, that's all he needed. He immediately, which, by the way, you can't pick up a homicide case like that and then drop it because a kid said something dumb.
Yeah.
Like, someone's dead. That lady's really dead now.
And, like,
he's like, it's a prostitute.
Right? They give you the impression that that's kind of why the cops are, like, caring, because there are these missing women. But, like, then they bring Charlie. It's so weird.
Yeah, like, and if you know anything about policing, you have to, like, they have to take every homicide, like, thing seriously. They can tell you the chupacabra came and ate my baby. But, like, if someone is still missing or dead, they have to take it seriously. They can't just blow you off. They're not allowed to blow you off. Because that may not be the reason why, but if that is a fact and you haven't done something about it, now it's your fault.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Like, they have to take them all seriously. They can't just be like, oh, boys will be boys. Like, stop watching so much telly, kid. Like, fucking no. You can't just do that. Like, you have to do your precautions. You have to, and I have the same complaint about Child's Play, which the guy that played Andridge is in that as well, as the cop who fucking blows people off. Even if it sounds ridiculous, even if it is ridiculous, you have to look into it to see if you can find a rational reason for it.
I love that, like, this is a horror movie, and we're talking about all of these things that don't exist, but one of your biggest pet peeves is, like, don't fuck up police work. Because, like...
Yeah, I have a struggle with detective movies and, like, mystery murders and, like, even Saw sometimes, because, like, the police work is so sketchy, but... At the end of the day, there are certain things they're gonna follow through with. Homicide's one of them. Like, if someone goes, I am a witness, I saw this person enter the home, and the next day she was found murdered, even if there's nothing else besides you were the last person that saw her.
Yeah.
You were the last person that saw her, and you just tracked her to a different location. Like you can't just be like, kids... So did you fuck this lady? He never even asks.
No.
He never asks about this woman. The moment vampires brought up,
there, nothing.
Literally never asks. It's never brought up. Which, by the way, there was a taxi that took her there. So there's other people that saw her there. And it sounded, the way they made it sound, it was like she was from, like, an escort service.
Yeah.
So then there's probably a phone number. Like, I know you can't track everything back. It's the 80s. I back it. Whatever. But, like, for fuck's sake... People really died. And by the way, this subplot just drops here.
Yep.
We never bring up the dead girls again. Nothing is ever handled with that. The police never show back up. So much happens and we just never acknowledge any of it. It wraps up very much like an 80s movie.
Yeah.
Like, and everything's fine. So, the cop, instead of doing anything useful, literally just threatens this kid. Like, if you come near that house again or come to my precinct again, I'll lock you up.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah, threaten the fucking witness. Great idea, you fucking... There's still... That doesn't make it not a missing persons anymore. Like, what the fuck? No, I don't even think she's a missing persons. I think she's dead. I think they found her body. Yeah, they found her body and she's dead. She's not even a missing person.
I can't even remember
a homicide.
Like, she was decapitated or just dead, but there was something... Like, she was very clearly dead. I
can't remember. They found but they found the body.
And it wasn't the first body that was found.
I think it was. I think that was the first body, but then...
Oh, was it?
Then the next night he had another girl, so there was another girl that was found.
That's right.
Like, but there's several dead corpses at this point. And those are the only two we know about. They did just move in, but also, we don't get into enough vampire lore to know, why does he need to eat every day? Like, a whole human's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Like... How much do you need to sustain? How do you plan on blocking this shit? Because you don't hide bodies fucking well at all, apparently.
Yeah, like...
You put them in your car.
Yeah, and, like, drop them off. It's weird.
Like, we just don't talk about it. No wonder he doesn't fucking stay in a place for long.
Yeah.
He hides nothing. He's
well, and that's
not even
Billy's
discreet.
job. Like, Billy's job is to get rid of the corpse.
Which I hear you, but it sounds like Billy's been doing this a minute too. So like,
should be better at it? Yeah.
Should be probably better at it. So after the cop threatens him, he goes to Evil Ed, who by the way doesn't want to be called Evil. Every time Evil Ed's called Evil Ed, or he calls him Hey Evil, he's like, stop calling me that. Okay.
But 2 sentences later, Ed calls him a fruitcake. Like, they have a very teenage boy relationship.
Very. But, like, so he doesn't like being called evil, and it never gets explained.
No.
It never gets explained why he's called Evil Ed. He's just Evil Ed. It's fine. Whatever. So, Evil Ed explains vampires to him, and we get a very basic understanding of vampires. Everything you've already known. Holy water, garlic, stake through the heart, which, by the way, that'll kill anyone. And Charlie's like, that's it? And the biggest, most important thing he says, the vampires are not allowed to go into a house without the rightful owner giving permission.
Yep.
Which leads me to side questions.
Oh, okay.
If you are a renter, are you not allowed to let a vampire in ever? You are not the rightful owner of a home.
I don't know.
I never thought about it till this moment. But, like, if you're in an apartment complex, are you safe from vampires? Or, if you have a vampire move into the building, are you fucked? Because now he's allowed in the whole building.
Well, shit. I don't know.
I've got so many questions. All of them are what the fuck.
Fortunately, we have a house, and we're not going to invite vampires.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. But...
that just blew my mind.
It's a thought, isn't it? I don't know. Put a comment. Let us know.
Like, who's the legal owner? Like, what?
He says the rightful owner of the home.
And that's why checking deed records? Like, I'm confused.
Can they just sense it? Can they just, like, see an invisible barrier being released once, like, the rightful owner lets them in? Because why can't they come in? Why? Do you blow up? What happens? What happens if you go in? Are you just considered rude and you just don't want to be rude? Where's the rules?
Vampire etiquette.
What's vampire etiquette? What is it? Leave a comment. Email us at frightfiendspodcast@gmail.com. Someone tell me, what are the rules? Someone's going to bring up some lore, and I'm going to be excited.
And I'm going to love it. Yep.
You're going to put me in a rabbit hole. But, like, genuinely, because Evil Ed specifically says the rightful owner, which is why I'm like, immediately your brain goes, okay, his mom, right?
Oh, okay. See, my brain didn't do that. My brain went in that moment that as long as Charlie didn't invite him in, because I forgot Mom existed, that he was fine. It wasn't until he got back to the house that I was like, oh, fuck, Mom.
Yeah, no.
Like,
the moment, because the way he phrased it was the rightful owner. So I was like, oh, fuck, it's Mom.
Yeah.
Now if Mom doesn't believe him, she's going to let him in. We don't even get that fucking far.
No.
By the time Charlie comes home, Jerry Dandridge is in the house.
Yeah.
He's in the house. He's drinking with Mom. He's supposed to be really charming, but there's nothing charming about him. I don't think he does anything really charming.
Like, it's very clear that Mom is, like, enthralled with him and all that.
I'm fairly certain.
Weird.
But I'm fairly certain she just wanted a dick with a pulse. Like, she brought up several times, like, I'm lonely.
Yeah.
Like, and back in the day, Chris Sarandon was a heartthrob. I didn't get it, but a lot of people really...
I can't imagine why you didn't get it.
Yeah, there's several reasons I didn't get it. But, like, a lot of people really found him very attractive. I don't see it at all. So, like, maybe just because he was an attractive, well-off guy.
I don't know, because he says things that are so obvious to Charlie in front of Mom that the only way my brain can, like, wrap around that is she's got to be, like...
See, no, I didn't think it was that obvious. I think it was obnoxiously not obvious unless you knew. Like, everything he says shit like, yeah, I wouldn't come over without your mother's permission, of course.
But now that I have it, I'll be around.
Yeah, but then he says again, of course, if you're okay with that. And she's like, of course I am. And he's like, I think I'll come over once in a while for a drink, or I'll be pretty convenient. You know, it's pretty convenient that I can just come over, pop over. But he makes it sound like he's just kind of flirting with Mom. If you read it from Mom's side, it definitely can come off as like he's trying to get along with this kid because he wants to be around more.
Yep, I can see that.
But if you read it from Charlie's perspective, it's obviously extremely threatening.
Yeah.
So that night, Charlie is completely freaked out. He's walking around his house like he thinks he hears stuff. He goes back up to his room to look out the window, and we can see behind him the vampire literally comes out of the closet.
Yep.
Jerry Dandridge comes out of the closet. And it's not a metaphor anymore. He literally came out to Charlie. He grabs Charlie and he's kind of beating the shit out of him. But he pins him against the wall and goes, I'm going to give you something I don't have. I'm going to give you a choice. which is loaded. Let me just...
Yeah.
So, there's so much you can read into this. And like I said, I've told you, this is a gay movie. I will fight this all day. I am a homosexual girl.
Yes.
And this is a gay read as hell.
I will die on this hill.
Yeah.
Like, this is a gay movie.
This is a gay movie. He literally says there's a choice. I am this. I have to be this. You can choose to be okay with it or not. But I am this. And there's a reason. Because, like, for example, he didn't give these women that he's been murdering this option.
No, they didn't get a choice. We watched it. Like, they
killed
did not
them,
get a choice.
But a male gets a choice. Why? Probably because he's attracted to males. So, Charlie tries some bullshit. So, because Charlie tried something, which is a fucking joke, I would have just, like, gone with it. Been like, alright, cool, dude. We're good.
Yeah, I didn't see shit.
Don't mess with me. I won't mess with you. Like, I'm sorry you're living this. Like, I'm all for it. But Charlie's an idiot, so he doesn't. He tries to I think he does try and get, like, a cross or something, and then, like, Dandridge just knocks it away, like, ha ha ha. And then hangs him out the window for, like, ever, by the way. Dandridge makes it seem like it's super difficult all of a sudden, but then later on shows insane strength and speed. Yeah. That it's like, what are you doing? And Charlie gets a pencil and stabs him through the hand. And I don't know about you, I think the funniest thing about this vampire specifically is the way Sarandon? Yeah, Sarandon. The way Sarandon portrays this vampire uncomfortable or in pain.
Yes.
He just goes, ooh, like he just fucking breathes in as loud as he can.
And it happens so many times.
It happens so much.
And he is such a little bitch anytime something goes wrong that, like, sorry.
He's choked on Mountain Dew. He really is, though.
But, like, he's this big, bad, like, vampire until he gets stabbed with a pencil. And he is...
The pencil breaks this man.
He's a bitch.
He's, ooh. And I guess it's a baby steak, so that's fine. Like...
It's a baby steak.
It is. Pencils are baby steaks. I wrote that in my notes, by the way.
Shit,
it says, and I quote, pencil is baby steak. Which it is. I mean, which is why it works, right? It's a steak. And so then we get the first time we actually get to see Dandridge as a vampire. And he flips around and he's fucking terrifying looking. He looks awesome. His makeup is bomb.
It's ridiculously
He looks
good.
great. He's got a wicked underbite. But he looks creepy. He looks very much vampire, but he also looks very much like, with his mouth at least, like a wolf almost. Yes. He's got like bulldog look. But he is very scary looking.
His face matches his fingers, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's a great look. It does look really neat. I love the way they did that. I love the look that they picked. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, the mom finally wakes up. I don't know how she didn't wake up. They are screaming. This woman hears nothing. I think she's 90% deaf. They just forgot to write it in. Like...
Yeah, like... But they do mention earlier, and I just remembered this. She mentioned something about needing to get sleep because she starts early, and you will know better than I, but I believe she says something about taking a sleeping pill, which is the only explanation for why she does not hear him going, like, kicking the wall and shit.
Ma'am?
Yes, dear.
You can take 76 Benadryl and wake up from that. There is no excuse. He throws him through the closet.
Literally.
Through the closet. Breaks the doors. Rips shit off the hinges.
Yep.
No. There's no... I don't give a fuck what you're sleeping. I don't give a fuck how drunk or drugged you are. You better be in a legitimate coma in order to not wake up from this shit. Because it's insanity how loud it is. But anyway, the mom finally wakes up. Don't know why, by the way. This is the quietest point of this fight.
Yes.
But Dandridge did do his notorious breathe in and panic. So, I don't know why, but he decides to leave.
Yeah, he just... Bye.
He's like, I'll kill you tomorrow.
Yeah, doesn't he, like, say something like that? Like, I'll kill you tomorrow night or some shit?
Yeah, like, you're screwed tomorrow or some shit like that.
I'll see you tomorrow night or something. It's weird. It's fucking weird.
It's weird. Why? Yeah, I just stuttered, but why?
Why not kill him and the mom in that moment? Like, what are you doing?
It's so unnecessary. So, there's the injury. He leaves. Then he calls Charlie.
Oh my God, that's right!
On the phone while his boyfriend is kneeling in front of him cleaning his wound.
Literally kneeling in front of him.
Cleaning his hand because he got a boo-boo.
From the baby steak?
From his baby steak.
They're so gay.
It's so homoerotic.
And the thing for me is, like, 80s movies, you don't normally see two men touching a lot.
No, you don't.
And these two men
are always touching.
Like, arms around, like, they're just touching. They're gay.
And that's fine, guys. It would have been fine. Like, so there is a remake. I have not seen the remake. I've heard very mixed reviews about the remake. And I don't know how they play this, but I have a feeling they play it straight and they don't.
Oh, that will be sad.
I'm pretty sure they do. I don't know for certain because I have not seen it. I'm really hesitant about it because I did have this viewpoint of this movie in my brain. Yeah. And that I've seen this again, though. I'm probably going to watch it. But as of right now, this movie in particular, this version in particular, had, I feel like, these actors and these writers and these directors been in it in the 21st century, I think they would have just made them a couple. I don't think they would have bullshitted anymore. Or like an open couple. If like they're bringing people home, that's fine. Open couple.
Or even if they weren't like a traditional couple, it would have been clear that Billy was like in love with the master. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like because they're clearly they're and the way it's played off, it's very much not like Billy is below Dandridge.
No.
Billy does not act below Dandridge. No. Billy does not talk below Dandridge. Billy does not seem meek in any way. He is very confident in himself. He does not need the support of this guy. Like, they are very independent people who work as a team. Yes. They don't work as this one's in charge and this one's not, which a lot of vampire movies do. They'll have, Dracula or whoever being the one in charge and everyone else is just like a peon. Yeah. And this doesn't feel like that. This feels like a partnership.
Yes.
Very much so. Like, this one can handle daylight, this one can't. So we just do it that way.
So, like, Daylight Boy, like, does all the things.
Yeah.
And is very happy to do them.
Yeah, like, this is just how our partnership works.
Yeah.
And we're very comfortable with it. So, he literally called Charlie, though, to talk shit.
Literally.
Like, tomorrow I'm gonna murder you.
Tomorrow night. Like, what?
Tomorrow I'm gonna murder you. Okay. What do I do with that information? And Charlie still does nothing. You can talk your way out of this. This guy is giving you option after option, choice after choice, decision after decision. And Charlie proceeds to fuck every one of them up. It's almost like he's talking to his girlfriend.
Yes.
It's garbage. He's terrible at this. Whatever. So
I expect Charlie to be like, dude, now that I have oxygen back in my brain from you choking me out, like, I've thought it through, and you're right. I should just not fucking say anything.
Maybe we could debate that Charlie won't support it because he is straight. We could probably argue that.
I don't think Charlie's straight.
Oh, I do.
Do you?
I think Charlie is at most bi-curious, but he wants to be straight so hard and he wants to date Amy so badly that nothing else really matters, and he'll fight that concept off. Whereas later on, as we see in this movie, Evil Ed kind of embraces it.
Oh, Evil Ed embraces it.
Literally embraces it, but it's okay. So, this is it. This is where we get into Peter Vincent. Peter Vincent?
Peter Vincent.
Peter Vincent. I am going to fuck it up, and I will say Vincent Price at some point, because it's the same fucking human. I'm telling you, they didn't even try, and there was the thinnest veil ever. So, Charlie goes to talk to Peter Vincent, because Peter Vincent's on TV and really believes in vampires. And he starts by saying, do you really believe in vampires? And he's like, yeah, totally, kid. And he's like, what, do you want an autograph? And he's like, no, I need you to help me murder this guy. And he's like, oh, yeah, no. Nope, we're not going to do that. No, I don't believe in vampires. You're crazy.
Yeah.
He's like, you said you believed. He said, yeah, I thought you were a fan.
And I just is that when he got fired?
Yeah, he had just gotten fired. He was like, just fired.
It was like, maybe if there was more kids like you, they would have kept my show on.
But, like, that's not how that worked. So, Charlie looks completely insane. He's talking to everybody like, you don't understand, this guy is definitely a vampire now. Like, he thought he wasn't a vampire before, he is firmly certain he is now. And everyone's like, oh, you're fucking nuts. So, Amy and Ed team up, which makes so much sense because it's Charlie's two lovers.
Yes.
Ed has no reason to stick around. Charlie uses Ed.
Yes.
Constantly. He uses him for homework. He uses him for favors. You don't see him just hanging out with Ed.
No.
Every time Ed is on camera with Charlie, it is to do Charlie a favor. Charlie is a using dick. Like, he is. Charlie's a douchebag.
I agree.
A crazy douchebag, but a douchebag. Like, shit. Ed and Amy would have been better together.
Oh,
like,
I ship that.
Yeah, right? Like, fuck it. Like, Amy, he's ignoring you anyway. Ed, he's treating you like shit anyway. You two team up. But no, instead, they team up to talk to Peter Vincent. So they talk to him and they're like, look, why don't you help us convince, he believes you. Why don't you help us convince Charlie that this guy's not a vampire? And he's like, all right, cool. Like, we could do that. That'll work. Because, like, I'm poor right now. And I think Amy offers him $500.
Savings bond. She's like, I have $500 savings bond.
Which is super neato.
Yeah,
but you know what? Fuck it. For, like, that easy job? Fuck yeah, $500. I'm in. I'd be all in, too. Back it. So, Eddie, again, calls Charlie a fruitcake. Every free chance. He's a fruit. He's a fruitcake. While he's talking to, Charlie's girlfriend.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, Ed, I know you're bummed about it, but he's not. That's why you're bringing it up. You're so upset. He's making it subliminal messaging. So, they call Jerry Dandridge, and they're like, hey, Charlie truly believes that you are a vampire. We want him to be proven wrong. So how do you feel about us doing a couple things? And he says, no crosses. I'm a born-again Christian. Do not do crosses. Also, no holy water because I believe it's sacrilegious. And they're like, well, how about we give you tap water, tell him it's holy water, and you'll drink it. And he's like, yeah, that sounds fine. Like, that's fine, but I am a born-again Christian, so you can't actually use those things because I believe they're very sacrilegious if they're used inappropriately. And they're like, perfect, that works. So now it is a win-win. He hangs up the phone and he's like, honey, a vampire hunter called. They're coming over and they're talking Charlie out of it. So Charlie's just going to look crazy now. We don't have to kill him.
Which is so strange that, like, he doesn't want to kill Charlie.
Well, I don't. I think that makes sense. He's his neighbor. Like, that looks suspected. Or
Suspect.
That he looks significantly more guilty if it's your next door neighbor murdering somebody. Especially after this kid's been rambling about you. It's too much spotlight attention.
I mean, I guess. But, like, he beat the shit out of this kid.
He did.
Like, I don't know. It's very weird to me that, like, he doesn't want to kill Charlie immediately. Like, if I was a vampire...
Well, if somebody's screaming your name over and over and over again and then they go missing, you're going to be a suspect. Like, and it's not worth the questions. It's just easier to just make him look stupid and be done. I back that. Plus, like, if that house moves, now you got whoever else is coming in and you got a whole new list of problems. Like, what if they... You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. Let's just make this kid look crazy and he just knows, but it's fine. Which, like, I don't understand. Like, no wonder you have to fucking move so often, dude. I don't know how often you have to move, but you had to move into this shithole. So, like, clearly you suck at this.
Yeah.
They go over to his house. They go over at night, of course. He makes sure they come...
At 6 p.m.
At 6 p.m. Yeah. Because according to this movie, sunset is at 6 p.m.
Every
Sunrise
night
is at 6 a.m. Like, there is no change. There are 30 clocks on the wall.
Yeah. Which
will be great during daylight savings time. Super fun.
It's very weird.
Super fun.
It is not 6:02. It is not 6:14.
Yeah, and like...
It is 6 a.m.
And if anyone's ever seen a sunrise, they know that they don't show up the same time every day. That's, like, literally how the Earth works.
And we knew that in the 80s. Like, by the way...
We've known that for a minute now.
Dinosaurs did not roam the Earth, and we fucking knew about time change.
Yeah, those are the two facts about the 80s that you
That's
needed.
the only two important facts.
Yeah. Alright, so they go to his house. Charlie, Amy, Evil Ed, and Vincent Price. No, Peter Vincent. I am never going to do this correctly. I'm trying with everything in me.
You're doing great.
No, I'm not, but it's okay.
So
I should just call him Vincent. So Vincent, they all show up at his house. He comes in with such grandeur, like only a gay man would think, to walk into a situation like this.
Yes.
His boyfriend opens the door, and he literally comes from the shadows and glides down the stairs, eating fruit.
Oh, and can we please take a second and talk about the red scarf that this man always wears?
I don't know if it's a scarf all the time, but there's a turtleneck too. He's just very turtlenecky.
When he has his jacket on,
there is a red scarf.
He wears this red scarf, and it is amazing.
It's very Breakfast Club bad boy.
Yes.
It's very, like literally that's the same outfit. He just doesn't wear the gloves probably because his fingers are too long.
Yes.
So he comes down the steps, and he goes up to Amy, and he's like, enchanté. I don't think he says that, but it's implied.
He kisses her hand and says charmed.
It's so obnoxious. But he does that, and he's like, isn't that what vampires do, Charlie? Like, he's just rubbing it in this fucking kid's face. You just kissed his girlfriend, you piece of shit. And, like, later on, we're gonna use a very, 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 very weak subplot of she looks like someone he used to like, we think. Maybe. He got a painting of her. That doesn't mean anything besides
and then
he
he says something like...
He literally says, you look like somebody I used to know.
Yeah, and that's it. And we don't have any background information other than that.
It. And, like, I guess we're supposed to infer she's reincarnated. But fuck if we know.
Well, shit, I didn't even think about that. I just thought they looked similar.
I did. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, are we going with the whole, like, it's his reincarnated love? But, like, he never says love. He didn't love her. He just knew her ass.
He just knew her.
He just knew her ass. Like, and the thing is, they did such a bad job making it look similar. They accidentally made it look the fucking same. And, like, maybe she didn't have an 80s haircut in the 1400s. Maybe that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Whatever. It's fine. His boyfriend still lets him keep the painting. So they do this stupid little test, if you will. He drinks the water that Peter Vincent says is holy water. It's not, as we find out very quickly, because he drinks it no problem. And everyone's like, see, Charlie, you fucking idiot. And Charlie's like...
convinced now?
And Charlie's like, you fuckers are not listening to me. You're not listening. You fucking dicks. They don't listen.
Charlie also doesn't have a mark on him from
getting his ass annihilated.
Getting his ass beat.
I'd be limping into that fucking house. I also wouldn't be walking into that I wouldn't be like, no, I'm not agreeing. He's just gonna murder everybody.
Yeah.
They kind of address it, but not well. They're just like, well, Peter Vincent's here. It's fine. And that's the end of it. I'm like, Peter Vincent's not vampire proof. Like, what the
Even,
fuck?
like, when they were going in, Charlie was like, aren't you bringing your kit? And Peter Vincent was like, no, we're just going to test him first. And he's like, yeah, but what if he turns out to be positive?
It's real dumb. It's real dumb. He saw the plot flaws and didn't care. Like,
yeah.
He has no survival skills whatsoever. Charlie is deemed the idiotic person in this movie. It's wild. So, it's weird because everyone's like, Charlie's a fucking idiot. He's right there. Can you stop? Like, Jesus Christ. He needs mental help if you believe that. Can you stop shitting on him?
Yeah.
Like,
he clearly, if you think he's an idiot and he truly believes that vampires are real, then how about somebody call a psychiatrist?
Like, he's certain this guy's not only a vampire, but he's a murdering vampire,
yes.
And he's gonna come kill him. That's called paranoid.
Yeah.
If that's not real, and we know because it's a movie that it is real, but if that's not real, that's paranoia. It's got its own name.
Yeah.
Like, get him help. Stop making fun of him. That's your fucking boyfriend and allegedly best friend. Sleeker gay lover.
We weren't big on getting help back then.
No, but... whatever, fine. So, Vincent looks in a mirror, I don't know, to fix his makeup?
I don't really know. So, they bring up the mirror very briefly when Amy and...
yeah, it was one of his props.
It was a prop from a movie that, like, that's how he knew he was a vampire, because there was no reflection. So, I don't know why he pulls out
I don't know, he pulled it out when no one was paying attention, and he was looking at himself in the mirror.
Yes.
And then realized that Jerry Dandridge is not showing up in the mirror. And he drops it.
Yep.
And it cracks and breaks and a part of it falls out, but he ends up picking it up real fast and putting it away and clearly wants to peace out.
Yeah, he's like, okay, children, like, let's go.
Time to mosey along now.
We've taken up enough of this man's time.
Let's go. He's very much the mom in the grocery store. Let's go.
Right.
Like she said it with gritted teeth, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. So they leave and he gets in the car. And Charlie's like, you saw something. What the fuck did you see? Because you got weird. And he's like, all right, his reflection may not have shown up in the mirror. And he's like, I fucking know. If y'all would listen.
I've been trying to tell you this guy's a vampire.
Literally been trying to tell people this guy's a vampire. So he books it.
Yeah. Vincent out.
Vincent out. He is out.
He's leaving these kids to them damn selves.
Like, he makes them walk away.
Literally.
Well, I don't know where Amy lives, but Ed's like, all right, bye. And he's like, no, we have to walk Amy home.
Yeah.
Which is adorable, but, like, where the fuck does she live? How the fuck did she get there?
Yeah.
Did she walk all the way there? Like, what? Did she go with Vincent?
I don't know. It never tells
because,
us.
like, she's got to walk all the way home. She's got to pass nightclubs and shit, as we quickly learn.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. They go from a neighborhood to, like, a city.
Yeah. It's very
really
strange.
fast.
They
It's
go from,
really
like, suburbia to downtown.
To a literal city in, like, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So, Evil Ed starts messing with him. Like, he starts picking on him. He's, like, crying. And Charlie runs up to him. He's like, are you okay? And Evil Ed's like, you want me to give you a hickey? Your fruitcake? Your little homo? Like,
literally,
he's just making fun of him. Like, and Charlie's like, you know what? Done with this shit. I'm over it. I'm over you. You're pissing me off. Fine. Go by yourself.
I'm walking Amy home.
I'm not going down the creepiest alley on the planet. So Ed's like, all right, drama. And decides to go. And immediately realizes he's being chased by Dandridge. And Dandridge is not chasing. He's casually walking.
Literally.
But he's fast. He's got Michael Myers beat, bro. Like, it's no joke. So he chases him. He corners him. Ed ends up literally on the floor crying. And then becomes, in case any part of this you were not convinced was gay, this is the gayest scene physically possible without dicks being present. Because it's so gay. It's so gay. He literally says things like, you're being different and you being outcasted for that. I am one of you. I get it. I understand what it's like. Like, I am you. I am different and I've been outcasted for it. And, like, really appeals to Ed.
Yeah.
Like,
you're one of us.
Yeah.
And like,
you're one of us and that's okay. And, like, we're here for you.
And we accept you.
And if you want to come with us, you're welcome. Take my hand.
Yeah. It's very, like...
It's kind of...
It's so gay.
It's so gay, but it's actually kind of, like,
Sweet.
nice. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice because it is very gay. And I think there's a lot of... If you're a gay person watching this movie, you kind of relate in that moment. Like, yeah, cool. This is somebody I can... You see why Ed's like, yeah, this is a good idea.
Yeah, had somebody come up to me at 15 and said all that, I'd have been like, I am in.
Yeah, like, I'm in.
Like, especially... Wait, I freaking fit somewhere? Like, what?
Yeah, like, you're a teenager anyway. You're kind of stupid. And you believe dumb people.
And all you want is to fit in.
Yeah, and so, like, this gay thing, it makes sense. It fits very nicely. And he says, take my hand. And Ed does. And he gets up. And he literally pretty much swaddles him with his jacket.
Literally, like, wraps his jacket around him.
It's
really kind of sweet.
And slowly bites his neck. And Ed has been turned. Because that's what gays do. They turn you. So, it's extremely gay. You can read this very gay. There is, if you're interested in a podcast that's far superior, but it's real, there's one called Horror Queers, and they are, like, professionals in the horror industry who talk about regular horror movies being extremely gay. I highly recommend them. I don't know if they've done this movie. If they haven't, it's mind-blowing. But I listen to them frequently, and I love them to death. But it's just a really great example of what we're talking about. And 80s and 90s was notorious for doing this kind of thing. It just is what it is. So here comes the big chase scene with Amy and Charlie. So they start chasing, and then it's cutting back and forth. It cuts back and forth between Charlie and Amy running, and then Ed goes to Vincent's house.
Oh, that's right.
So Ed goes to Vincent's house, and Ed's like, let me in. And Vincent immediately lets him in. And
doesn't think twice about it.
No. He's like, who is it? And as soon as he's like, it's Ed, he lets this kid in. He's immediately, come in, you're safe. He's a good adult in this movie. He's one of the few good adults in this movie. He's a little bitch, but like...
I'm like, he did kind of leave the kids to die. I don't know that I would call him a good adult.
Well... Yeah, that's a good point, huh? I think he's one of the most caring adults. He's a puss, though. Like, I mean, I can't blame him. I'd be a puss as well. That's terrifying. I don't know, you motherfuckers. Like, they could be assholes. You don't know.
Yeah, I still don't think you'd leave, like, 3 kids to just die.
Well, I don't know. If they're as much shit heels as these kids, you bet your ass I'm gonna leave them to die.
Like, no, you won't.
Oh, you give me more credit than I have earned, because I promise I would. If you're old enough to be a piece of shit, I'm old enough to leave you. like, I don't fucking care. So, Ed's in the apartment, and at one point he says, like, a couple weird lines. Like, at one point he's like, what are you gonna do? Not me.
Yeah. Again, it's very gay.
Yeah, like, where did that come from?
Like there was no lead up to that.
There's no reason to say that sentence.
It's not like Peter Vincent was, like, trying to hit on Ed earlier.
No, there's nothing.
It was very weird.
I mean, you can argue that Peter Vincent's very, but he's very feminine.
Yes.
Flamboyant. Just very stereotypically so, at least.
But he gets away with it because he's this vampire
killer. He's just eccentric.
Character.
It's different. He's eccentric.
There's the word.
Like, the man's wearing capes just cuts. Like, he has very, Van Helsing-y outfits on. It's
yeah.
And it's the 80s, dude. There's, like, no reason. Like, this isn't, like, the style. Like, you're not picking the style. But what? Fine. Cool. But, so Ed is in the house, or apartment, I should say, with Vincent, and, like, Vincent does eventually grab a cross and put it on Ed's head and burns the shit out of Ed's head. He has, like, a cross burned on his head now.
Yes.
And I love this for a couple of reasons. One, it stays pretty consistently. But two, one of the stupid things that happens is he looks in the mirror, which is what most people would do. But he's now a vampire, so he doesn't have a reflection. So he says some stupid line like, the master's gonna kill you, or...
Yeah, he'll get you for this or something dumb.
It's the only time I think they ever call Dandridge the master.
Yes, but they do use that word, and I remember
and I didn't love it. It was weird.
I didn't either, because it just didn't feel...
It didn't fit.
Yeah.
I wish he had just said Dandridge is gonna get you.
Or even he'll get you now.
Yeah, he's gonna get you. Like, something. I just wish it wasn't master. Because they don't play on that very heavily. So it's weird that they did right there and only there.
And only there.
And
whatever. This is one of the inconsistencies I find in the movie that drives me nuts. Is Evil Ed is, like, immediately a vampire. And we'll talk more about what happens later. But, like, he's, like, an instant vampire.
Yeah, he's within 4 to 6 minutes, he's a vampire. Like,
and
Amy later on goes to turn, and she takes a small lifetime to be a vampire.
Yeah, and
she needs to get over a cold first. Like,
or something. And then the other thing is that, like, Peter Vincent grabs the cross and, like, burns Evil Ed so bad in the face that he has a scar that lasts through shit. But, like, later on, and we'll get into it, that's not the case. So, like, that's one of my very few complaints with this movie.
Yeah. So, now we're back to Amy and Charlie. Charlie's trying to call Vincent to get him to help. He's not answering the phone, probably because he's busy fighting Ed. And then there's one of the weirdest scenes in this movie. I don't like it. I wish 99% of it was cut out.
Wait, the nightclub?
The nightclub. I'm glad you knew where I was going. So we're in the nightclub, and Dandridge has her under his spell.
It's so weird. It's the weirdest thing.
And we've already, like, immediately, like, talked about these children are children. They are in school, teenagers.
They are in high school.
He is touching her like she isn't.
Oh, for real though.
Yeah, like, it is inappropriate. Police should have been called there. There's an entire dance sequence where they just dance.
And, like, he puts his hand up her skirt. Like, this is not, like, weird. Implied.
It's weird. It's weird. It's uncomfortable. But at one point he goes to bite her, I think. Or at least go toward her neck. And she stops him. So she has control over that. But not anything else. And
very weird.
So out of nowhere, he goes to walk away with her. And Charlie sees us and chases after him. And these two giant guys stop in front of them. We're assuming they're bouncers. They're in the same shirt. But, so the two guys, they fucking see this guy and they're like, no, this doesn't look right. And stop him.
Which I love.
Which, thank God, somebody fucking stopped him. He immediately, like, fucks him up. Yeah. He, like, literally throws a 300-pound man like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's weird. And then something happens where the fire alarm goes off or something goes off to where everyone has to evacuate.
Yeah, and I want to think that Charlie pulls it, but he may not be that smart. I may just be giving him too much credit.
I cannot remember. It might have been Dandridge that pulled it. But...
It was Dandridge that pulled it.
Is it? I can't remember. But I think that or, like, the sprinklers go off or something goes off to where, like, everybody has to evacuate. And because of that, Amy and Charlie get separated, and Dandridge gets Amy again. All of that could have just been cut.
Yeah, it's like this weird stairwell scene. It's odd.
I think from the moment they get to the dance to the moment they leave, that whole scene could have been cut. You could have put some real quick thing in. Because it shows them running away from him 15 different ways, and he just ends up right in front of them.
I don't know what the point of, like, the dance was. I don't know what the point of, like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't like it. It gave me icky feelings in my belly. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't like it. It was unnecessary as hell.
Yeah.
They could have literally just had him punch Charlie and take Amy. It could have been that simple.
Or just enthrall Amy with his magical woo-woo powers. But, like, instead we've got to do this weird, like, hand up her skirt dance. They've made it so clear she's a teenager. We've seen her in high school.
We've made it so clear that she's not just a teenager, but she's a prudish teenager who clearly doesn't feel comfortable with that. But yeah, so that scene's so irrelevant and so, like, almost frustratingly irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unnecessary. So Charlie goes to Vincent's house because he doesn't know what else to do. He doesn't know where else to go. Police clearly don't believe him. Vincent's now way more not for opening the door.
Yeah, he's way more hesitant at his door.
He opens the door and he's like, touch this cross. And Charlie grabs the cross and he's like, oh, okay, you're good. And he's like, they got Amy. We gotta get him. And he said, if you ever want to see Amy alive again, you're gonna have to bring Vincent and come
to the house, yeah.
Come to the house. So that's what they're doing. So back at the house. Back at the house. Yeah. Dandridge is having some weird conversation with Amy. Amy's on the floor again. Call back to the beginning of the movie. In a dress. He put her in a dress.
In a white, sheer, Romanesque style dress. It's very weird.
Yeah, I don't know what any of those words are. She's in a dress.
Sorry, that got me.
Yeah. She's in a dress, and the big problem I have with it is that the only strap on it goes around her neck, and I feel like vampires wouldn't be a big fan of that. Like, I feel like it's in the way. Why would you put cloth in your way? Whatever. That's fine.
And she's, like, laying on this, like, rug in front of a fire. It's too much.
It's too much. Like,
it's too much.
You couldn't put her... You have all this room in this house. You couldn't have put her on a couch, you dick. Like, nope. He put her in a dress and just dropped her ass on the floor. I gave her a rug.
Right? I gave her a pretty dress to wear. What?
Like, it's weird. Gay men. He's like, I don't like her that much. So, we try with this fucking stupid subplot of, like, you remind me of somebody I knew. And that's the whole thing. That's, like, everything they say about it. They don't bring it up again. It doesn't fucking matter. He's not in love with her.
He doesn't talk to, like, Billy, his partner, about it. Like,
no, Billy's just missing again. Billy's fine with it. Billy doesn't care. He'll share. But it's like a almost sex sequence. It's not sex.
No, it's not sex.
But it's alluded very heavily to sex adjacent.
Yeah, it's seduction is the way that I...
Yeah, but, like, she's the one who, like, I think takes the top off or something.
Oh, yeah, like, she reaches up and unclips the halter top.
It's weird, and
but
he bites
I can't tell whether, like, she's magically enthralled by him, or she just, like, I don't know anymore.
I think it's definitely... She's not... Because, like, we know her as a character is not a fan. So I think it's safe to say that she is... under his spell.
I guess. I don't know. It's really weird.
It's really... I think the whole side story with Amy was irrelevant. I think the reason they put Amy in this entire movie is because it was the 80s and it had to be straight again.
Yep.
And Amy is the only link that makes it straight. If you think about that, there are no other women. The mom is a side character of just she exists.
Yep.
And she's interested in Dandridge, and Dandridge is clearly not interested back.
Yep.
But like, if you take Amy out of this movie, it's just as good of a movie. It has just as much value, and it would have worked just as well.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't need Amy.
No. Charlie didn't need to have to fight for Amy for, like, this to be a thing.
No, he could have been like, we gotta end this.
Yeah.
It would have been just as valued. It'd have been just as good. But Amy's there anyway, with her fucking hair, with her Molly Ringworm hair.
No, because, like, before he bites her, she looks like Amy.
Yeah, so...
And then her hair grows, and it freaks me out.
You have weird shit that upsets you.
Like...
You don't like his fingers, and you don't like her hair.
I don't know whether or not they, like, got a different actress to play her at certain points. But, like, at certain points, she's got hips and boobs and really long hair.
Yeah.
And then at other points, she looks like a 2x4 with your haircut. So, like...
Don't say that's my haircut!
With a almost as short as your haircut.
No, don't even. She has Molly Ringworm hair. Get off my back.
She does not have Molly Ringworm hair.
Oh, yeah? You seen The Breakfast Club? Yes, she does.
I've seen The Breakfast Club.
She has the same haircut. Also, still nowhere near my hair, by the way. Alright, so Vincent and Charlie go into the house. They finally agree. They're teaming up. They brought the little backpack of safety or whatever.
It's kind of like a box, but okay.
It is a box. It's like a suitcase almost. And the vampires are there. Well, the vampire and his boyfriend are there. And literally, he's hanging on this other guy. Literally hanging on the boyfriend.
Like, Billy's standing in front of him on the stairs, and he's, like, got his arms, like, wrapped around behind. Or, like, up on his shoulder, not, like his
Like,
waist.
literally, yeah, over his shoulder.
Yeah.
So, I can't remember what happens to Vincent. Something happens to Vincent where he's, like, not there or gets knocked out or something. Or runs out or something. Something happens.
Yeah, but I can't
pinpoint
like, what. Not a big... apparently thing.
I should have wrote it down. I didn't. But I did write this line. Charlie gets rocked by Bottom. So
Jesus Christ.
Billy, the boyfriend, the partner, punches Charlie in the face and literally knocks him out. Flips him over the fucking railing.
It's like a thing.
He's out. And I don't know what happens to the other guy. But Vincent leaves and goes to Charlie's house. Don't know why. Can't remember. There's probably a reason. Does it matter? No.
Yeah. Doesn't he go to get his mom?
I don't know.
And that's when, like, Ed's there.
Yeah.
And he's got the wig on. Is that why he's there?
Yeah. So he goes over. I know he goes over to see his mom. I just can't remember why he gets out of the house. I can't remember why he's like, and deuces. But he does. It doesn't matter. He's out of the house. So
He's left the kids before. This wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, right. So he goes over to the mom's house. I think he goes to call the police or something.
Something.
Yes,
because the phone lines are cut.
The phone line ends up being cut. Evil's in the mom's bedroom with a wig on, with like a Raggedy Ann wig on.
Bad wig.
It's literally like a Raggedy Ann doll wig. And like, it's really weird because he's like...
Because now he's cross-dressing.
Well, he's reading notes from the mom and he's like, dinner's in the oven. And I'm like,
it's weird.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Ed. And so, long story short, Evil turns into a wolf. Vincent falls and he's just sitting there and panicking. And Evil goes to attack Vincent. Vincent kind of like knocks him off, knocks him over the banister. He hits the chandelier and falls on the ground.
Yes.
And one of the banister slats? Banister.
Yep.
Is that what they're called?
Slats.
Are you really proud of me for knowing that?
Okay, so that's not their official term. I was just giving you that. The banister has slats, it has studs, it has runners, it just depends on the type.
Okay, well, bitch, you saw the movie. Which one is it? Oh, yeah, it depends on the banister. Well, you saw it. It has little rungs of shit that turn into mini steaks.
I'm trying to remember.
They're actually standard steaks. Mini steaks are pencils.
I'm trying to remember whether they're round or they're flat.
They're round.
They're round?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're probably rungs or studs.
Okay, so a stick of wood.
Shut the fuck up.
Now that you guys know about banister history.
Oh no, don't go off that, because I skipped so much. No,
oh my god. Alright, good enough. So, he gets wood in body.
Shut up.
One of the banister sticks.
I hate you.
Turns into a banister steak. and stabs Evil when he's a wolf. So Vincent watches as Evil slowly turns back into a human, and it is a very good transition.
It's so good. It's so good.
The effects in this movie for the year it was made were awesome. They put a lot of effort into it. They put a lot of time into it, and it fucking showed. I've seen so many horror movies at this point, so many transitions, and this is fucking amazing. Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. It's probably the best transition of the movie.
It's like Evil Dead-y, but better for me. And I know I've spoken sacrilegious words, and may Invisible Sky Daddy smite me down, but it's better in my
Okay, no, that's fair. It's very good. It's very good practical effects.
Yes, it's amazing.
Bomb-ass practical effects. And so Evil Ed dies. And it's sad. He's there. He's naked. He's dead. Vincent's crying. He's upset. He knew this kid. And so I did like that.
Yeah.
He's not this just evil thing. He was a person that you knew earlier that day.
You tried to save.
You tried to help him. So it's sad to see this kid die. And he dies very painfully, and he dies very uncomfortable, and it's sad. So it was good. It was a good little scene. It gave it a little bit of heart. And then Vincent literally rips that heart out when he pulls the banister wood.
Instead of going to get another one, which I don't understand.
I don't understand it either. He literally pulls it out of his
He wants the one from his heart. So, I got nothing.
It's weird. There were other options. He picked that one. He's like, fuck this corpse.
There were so many pieces of the banister he could have grabbed, but nope. Want the one in his chest.
And now, how, they never explain it, but how do you explain that to the police? That there's just a dead kid with a hole in his chest, and by the way, what went through his chest has your fingerprints all over it. Explain that shit away. Good luck.
I don't think anybody's worried about the popo anymore, because they clearly ain't
They don't show the fuck up. But, Evil's a kid. He's a kid. You never see his parents, but you see his house.
Yep.
They're gonna notice. Charlie's best friend's missing.
Yeah.
Not even missing. Dead in his house.
Literally dead, and looks...
a kid.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a werewolf. He doesn't look like a vampire.
He's just a kid.
He transitioned all the way back from wolf to vampire to human.
He was a kid.
And even the scar finally went away.
I don't know if the scar went away. I didn't look.
I definitely noticed the scar went away. Because I was obsessed with that scar.
The scar looks cool because even mid-transition, when he's half werewolf, half human, the scar is still immediately there.
Yes.
The only time it's not there is when he's fully a wolf.
Yep.
Which is fine because it was really a dog.
I thought it was still there when he was fully a wolf. I could be wrong, but I couldn't because I was looking. I'm obsessed with the scar.
Yeah, scar looked cool. But the moment he started transitioning, it was there. So Charlie's in the room with Amy as Amy has a fever.
It's literally
she's
what it
just
looks
sweaty. Just Amy got COVID. And
Amy got COVID? Shit.
Doesn't feel good. That's all. And he's threatening Charlie oh, wait till she wakes up. And leaves him in a locked room with Amy.
Who's unconscious.
Who's sweaty.
On a rug. In a dress.
It's so weird.
It's so weird.
So he's doing that, and then he goes to hang out with his boyfriend.
Literally.
So Dandridge and Billy are in a room. I don't even know what they're doing.
I don't know.
They're in a room away.
They're literally, I think,
they could have killed Charlie
about the fact that Amy was going to wake up and he was going to see her.
Yeah, they could have killed Charlie 300 times. They're
That's what I said in the beginning of this. It's so weird that he doesn't just kill Charlie.
It's just, but it's constant. He's just constantly he wants to fuck with this kid's psyche.
Yeah.
But just his.
Yeah.
He will kill anyone else, but not this one.
It's very strange that he will not kill Charlie.
He will not kill Charlie.
At this point, I'm rooting for him to kill Charlie.
Yeah, because Charlie's still a useless turd. He's not...
Yeah.
You don't fucking... I don't root for him. He's annoying. He's an annoying little kid. Don't get me wrong, Dandridge is a bad guy. We all agree with that, but fucking Charlie's annoying.
Yeah.
Charlie doesn't have an excuse. Dandridge is supposed to be evil. We saw that because Ed turned evil immediately.
Yeah.
But Charlie has no reason for that.
It's weird.
No reason for that. So, Vincent goes and sees where Charlie is, and he's like, yo, make noise so I can break into the house. So then Charlie starts banging on the walls, help me, someone come get me, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. And Dandridge is like, sounds like someone's waking up.
Yeah.
Evil. Not Ed, because he's dead. Evil. So they talk, Vincent and Charlie talk, and they're like, all right, we gotta kill Dandridge before dawn. Because if we kill Dandridge before dawn, Amy will turn back to people.
Yep, it will save her.
Which is really fucked up, by the way, because that means we could have saved Ed, too.
Yeah, and that's what I mean when I said earlier. Ed immediately transitions into vampire, and Amy's just laying there half
literally
dead.
Just
like,
not
what?
feeling good. She's just got a belly upset.
But she's also unconscious.
She's just a sweaty bitch. So at one point, they're out of the room, and they look, and they're trying to go down the steps. They do this back and forth bullshit with a cross a bunch of times. They do it like 3 different times. It's so unnecessary. We get it. For some annoying, obnoxious reason, it's not working when Vincent does it, but it works when Charlie does it.
Yep.
They do not explain it.
There's
no guarantee why.
Is what does he say something about faith?
You don't put faith into it. But it worked for everyone else except for Dandridge, specifically with Vincent.
Yeah, because Dandridge burned Evil Ed with it. So it's weird. He's like, you have to have faith
Vincent,
for that.
No,
that's
Vincent
right. Yes, you're correct.
Evil Ed with it. And yeah, so it's weird. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't line up.
But when Charlie holds it up, he turns into an immediate bitch.
He goes, oh. He literally, oh.
And, like, puts his arm. It's so bad. It's and, like, so bad.
Like, the first time he did it, I'm like, oh, he's faking him out. He's fucking with him.
That's the same thing I thought.
No, it was just a bad acting moment.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
He's just overacting big time.
I'm very surprised they left that in, because it's really campy and really cheesy and not in a good way. And I like camp and cheese, but it's the moment it takes you a little bit out of the movie, like, really?
Yeah.
Really? So, he goes away. Don't know why.
I don't know. He's, like, running away from the cross and Charlie's
He runs away and then comes back and runs away and then comes back, and at one point he's on the outside of the house, then he's on the inside, whatever. Fine. Because plot points, that's why. So, at one point, the boyfriend shows up, Billy. And Billy starts climbing the steps at them, and they shoot him in the fucking head.
Literally.
They're like, well, we think he's human, because, he can see
not
daylight.
He's not
a vampire, Dandridge is the vampire. So, he gets up, gets shot in the head.
It takes him a
minute, but he gets back up, he starts walking right back at him, and then they shoot the shit out of him like 6 more times, and he doesn't. Then it doesn't bother him. The first time I literally knocked him out. Second time, nothing.
And the first time was between the eyes, so, like, good shot.
Yeah.
But, like...
I love that Vincent actually takes a shot. Because I feel like you keep thinking he's going to bitch out.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, dude, I'm in this now. Yeah. We're in it. I'm murdering people if I need to now.
Yeah.
So, by the way, shots were fired. This is how loud this is. What fucking neighborhood are these people in? Because women are screaming constantly. People are screaming constantly. And now there's gunfire. No police.
None.
Police never show back up. We never see police again. Mm-mm. Again, Ed is dead in the next door house. So, like, no police. Fuck it. We're just gonna plot point that away. So, and that's the thing too. Like, they could have made Ed, like, set on fire and the body's gone or something. You know what I mean? Like, that could have happened.
Disintegrate anything.
Nada. It's just a dead kid in your fucking house.
It's a dead human in your house now.
That you know. So, whatever. The boyfriend, Billy, gets up, gets shot a bunch, handles it like a boss. He don't care. I don't know where Dandridge is. He's stalking. I don't know. Lurking. But they get a stake out, and they stake Billy. And it's very weird that Billy never tries to really stop them. It's not like they fight. It's like he's like, you ain't gonna do shit. And they just called his bluff, and now he's fucked. Now you guys have lived how long, and you have no concept of defense? Like, it's weird.
He just keeps walking towards them like his sheer...
Like, ominous will win.
Like his overtaking presence will... Like, it's weird.
It's really weird. So, he gets staked, and he dies. He bleeds this green goo.
Yes.
And then melts. That's a real thing.
And I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's so good. And I'm not the kind of person who likes effects like that. I'm just not. The green thing, I don't get it. I know it's a thing. I don't get it. But this is so
yeah, you really like
fucking good.
Yeah, it's weird. You never find out what Billy was.
And I love that.
I was just about to say, and I like that. Like, you don't get an explanation.
No.
We're not here to explain it away. We don't plot point this fucking shit. That's just how it works. So, Amy wakes up with immediately longer hair. It was right at her. You look so upset about this. You're so, like, forlorn with long hair thoughts. Like, what the fuck?
Like,
You don't like it.
She doesn't
like long hair or long fingers. That's very lesbian of you.
Yeah. You would think I would like long fingers.
You have a type.
Shit. Damn it, Jess.
Oh, that's dumb.
Oh my god.
Alright, so she wakes up and immediately her hair went from her ears to her shoulders.
Yes.
Don't worry, it's not done. It gets longer as we go. It also turns into like Hermione Granger hair. Like, it just gets bigger.
Yes.
It gets so much bigger.
It has changed color. It has changed texture. It has changed length. And by the way, now all of a sudden she has boobs. And I'm not okay with this.
I like how this is what upset you. So I get the body changes. And the reason I get the body changes is because vampires are just notorious for, like, being sexy, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, that could be why. And it's taken that away from her. I don't fucking know.
Then pick a different actress, because she's as sexy as wet drywall. Like, I can't. Oh, sorry, Dad.
I don't think she's ever going to listen, but if she does, she's got a complex now.
I think she'd be alright.
You said as sexy as wet drywall.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Was that not okay?
that was judgy. That was a little judgy.
I'm a judgy petty bitch. I claim my shit.
Fuck. Alright, okay. This poor kid. She was a teenager. We're judging the shit out of a
she's
child.
Not now. She's my fucking age.
Yeah,
so, like, she's fine.
Yeah, she's fine. So, they're talking shit to Dandridge, who shows up again because his boyfriend's dead. Who he does not seem to care that his boyfriend's dead.
Which
I
is
kind of wish he
strange.
did. Yeah, I wish he did, but he doesn't. He's fuck that guy. Like, I guess he wanted a new twink. Okay. That works.
Billy did not look like a twink, though. Ed looked like a twink.
That's because he was a fucking child.
Yeah, literally.
Clearly, this guy does not give a fuck about age of consent. He's 400. But he starts talking shit, and they start talking shit back, and then the sunrise starts behind him, because
the window's been
broken. It was like a fucking stained glass window, because apparently
beautiful.
He moved into a goddamn church. And, like, so it busts out, and you can see the sunrise behind him. And all of his little alarm clocks go off, which is the single most annoying thing ever. And he's like, oh, he makes that dumb fucking noise again.
Yep.
And then turns into a bat. And he's the world's ugliest bat. Bats are adorable. He's fucking hideous.
Yeah.
He is grotesque.
Yeah.
So he goes after Charlie and bites Charlie. No one seems to give a shit that Charlie's been bitten.
Which is so weird.
Never brought up again.
No, never.
Never. And we know the theory of, like, oh, well, if we kill him before dawn, you know, Amy will be changed back. So I guess we can piggyback off of that. But he's never even like, I've been bitten.
He's never like, I don't feel good because I've been bitten and I'm changing into a vampire. Like, nothing.
He's fine.
Yeah, it's weird.
He was just bit by... If you know anything about bats, you cannot feel when you're bit by a bat.
Wait, I didn't know this.
You cannot feel when you're bit by a bat. That's why, like, a bat's in your house, they have to send it out for rabies testing because, like you don't know if you've been bitten. It can bite you in your sleep and you won't know.
Well, I'll never sleep again. Thanks, Jess.
Anytime. It's fine. It's fine. But, like, that's a thing. So, like, he reacts, though. And I don't think this movie's that smart about bat knowledge to be like, well, what really happened, you see, is... No, I don't think that's what happened. I think they were just like, and that happened. Like, okay. Yeah. And the bat flies away to the basement.
Yeah.
Imagine being in the middle of this and being like, I gotta go nap!
Like, right now!
Fucking what? Like...
That is my life, though, right now.
My thing is, like, vampires...
Was that too real?
I got too real. Vampires, like, we know that they need to, like, be away from sunlight.
Yeah.
We all know that. But no one said they got narcoleptic the moment fucking the sun came up.
I didn't know they had to be unconscious, like, the minute the sun rose, or, like, death.
No,
like,
yeah, like, it's so weird. So he literally just goes and takes a nap. He just fucking...
Like, I'm in the middle of a battle, but I'll deal with it in, like, 12
hindsight,
hours.
that's wild, right? Like, he didn't hide in the basement. He just took a nap.
And we know the basement has painted windows, so, like, he could have, like, hid in the corner and fucked somebody's day up.
Nope.
But nope, it was night-night time.
He doesn't skip his breaks, man. They go into the basement, so the fight moves to the basement, and they don't know where he went, so they're trying to find, like, a secret entrance or a door. And Amy, bad now. Amy got hair and boobies.
And ass and hips.
I like how you're very upset by Amy figure.
It's because she looks so good. Like, the vampire face on her.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
neat.
yes. But I swear it's a different actress. Like, she has hips. She's an ass. She's boobs. She has way longer hair. I'm like, the only thing that's the same is the dress.
Yeah, you know what? It might be a different actress. I didn't look into that, but there's a great fucking chance.
Like, that was my immediate thought, was either, like, I don't know.
Or a lot of padding.
A lot of padding. Because all of a sudden, this 2x4 has turned into curvy, long-haired, like, but the face is so good. And with as much work as they did on her face, it could have just been a different actress.
So what I'm looking through, as far as cast and crew, it's not. They probably padded her up.
Yeah.
But from what I'm looking at, don't 100% quote me on this, because I'm not certain. But I am not seeing anything. I am seeing Bouncer 1, Bouncer 2, Hooker, but, like, I'm not... Cross-dressing vampire, uncredited?
Cross-dressing vampire.
I have a feeling something was cut. Cross-dressing vampires on there.
I can't.
I don't know. I don't know that. I don't think there was another vampire. So maybe that's it. But I don't know. I can't tell you.
I don't know.
There was a cut scene, which would probably reinforce our gay thing.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter because Amy bad now. Amy bad now with hair bad Amy. And so they find the coffin. Charlie is fighting Amy and losing vigorously because apparently vampires bite people until it's Charlie, and then they just throw them around the room.
And then they just beat the shit out of him.
They don't even beat him. They just launch him different directions.
It's weird.
It's so weird. Charlie's just throwable, man. Like, yeah,
he's like the mouse with the cat and a mouse. Like, they're just beating him around.
They won't kill him.
Again, why won't they kill Charlie?
Also, why doesn't Charlie ever get hurt? He got bit, but, like, nothing happens. He's fine.
No, he's fine. He's literally fine.
It's fucking, like, let me tell you. I turned the wrong way and my back's done for a week. This fucker's hitting walls and knocking shelves down. He's like, it's fine. Like,
he doesn't even have a mark on him.
There's a concussion in there, buddy.
Yeah.
There's a concussion. So, Vincent Price? No. Still Peter Vincent. Still not Vincent Price. I'm never gonna get it right. So, I'm so Vincent Price.
You realize that every episode there's somebody that we've called something that we're not supposed to.
Yeah, there's always somebody I'm like, I've renamed you.
Like the one we were like, Emily, that's not a fucking name.
Yeah, like
what are we doing?
I'm just, yeah, I pick a name and that's their name, goddammit.
And then the one was me. Like, I love this. I love that our theme is we fuck up a name. Like,
not horror movies, just fuck up a name. That's our theme.
Fuck up a name.
Not Vincent Price. So Peter Vincent. So Vincent. We're just going with Vincent. So Vincent finds the coffin, lifts up the coffin. Motherfucker's napping, bruh.
And, like, gross. Like, gross.
Yeah, he's vampire napping. He looks He's got the creepy face still.
It looks like his face is, like, half melted, too. It's weird.
I think it's just all red, isn't it?
No.
I'm fairly certain it's all red. But it doesn't matter. He stakes him. And the guy, like, you know how the vampires get up from, like, a laying down position to standing without, like, they're a plank all of a sudden.
Literally.
All of a sudden somehow he missed his fucking heart or something.
I don't know.
Because he just pulls it out, like, hey, don't do that. And then they just start throwing everybody at everything. He throws the steak, once he pulls it out of his chest, he throws the steak and actually breaks a piece of the glass that was painted and that now sunlight's shining through. So he's like doing his big deep like everything's just very shocking to this fucking vampire. Everything's so surprising. He can't handle anything. They break all the glass because they realize that's the way to do it. And he literally gets set on fire. And the last thing he screams is Amy.
Yeah.
Which I hate.
Yeah.
I really wish it was his roommate's name. I do. Or nothing. Nothing would have been fine.
But like all of a sudden you're in love with Amy? I'm so confused.
He didn't appear to give a fuck about Amy.
Like literally.
But apparently now's his moment.
Now's
so
his moment.
It's really weird. It's really out of place.
I almost feel like there was another scene that explained like why this picture's important, why Amy's important.
And it just
didn't make it.
It didn't need to. Like, they didn't need that side plot. It would have been fucking fine without it. Like, just kill the teenagers. That's fine. And it'll piss off Charlie if you take his girlfriend. Like, that would have been fine. But whatever. So, they set him on fire, and they're like, oh, everyone's fine now. And then it very much does wrap up happy ending.
Yeah.
It shows them making out in the bedroom.
Yep.
Everything's fine. Peter Vincent's back on TV.
Yep.
I don't know why he got a new contract.
Yeah, I don't know what about this made
him popular again.
The network sign him back on.
It doesn't talk about how Ed was dealt with. It talks about nothing else. It's just like, oh, he's doing TV again. Yes, it's time to watch our friend on TV.
Yeah.
End of film.
No, they keep it open for a sequel.
Oh, you're right. So the last shot is he looks out the window and he thinks he sees red eyes.
Yeah.
But it's Evil Ed laughing.
Yep.
Which I hate so much. But I hate probably for the most part because, one, it was the best death.
Yep.
It was the most realistic death.
Yep.
It shows him come all the way back. It's emotional. And they're like, no, but what if he wasn't dead?
And like they never talk about when they get back to the house, where's Evil Ed's body? Do the cops come? Is he dead? Like they don't talk about it.
They just omit it entirely. It's really weird. So that's the end of it. That's how they ended it. And then it's like, Fright night, bright night.
Yeah.
It's really weird. But yeah, that's 1985 Fright Night. I have not seen the remake. I probably should.
Yeah, I'd love to watch that.
I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard people like it a lot more. Heard people like it a lot less. Heard people say it's just, don't compare the two. So,
okay.
We'll probably look into it at some point. If somebody's like a diehard Fright Night fan, whether it be the original or new one, leave a comment. Email us. Message us on, not Spotify, on Instagram. We have an Instagram. But let us know if you really like this movie or if you hate this movie and you're like, here's another movie I want you to record. Let me know. This was not a planned movie.
No, this was so last minute.
I bought it at a discount and I'm like, you haven't seen Fright Night? I haven't seen it since I was a kid. Let's watch it. And we started watching it and I was like, oh, we need a podcast. This is fun.
Yeah.
So that's really how we got into this one. So if you're interested in something specifically, let me know. This was never going to be in my top 100. If I had made a list of 100 movies we're going to record, this one made it. And now it's our third one we've officially recorded.
And it's my favorite.
Like, it's your favorite so far out of the three?
Freaking love this movie. The transitions, like, they get me.
There's a reason it's a classic.
Yeah.
There's definitely a reason, like, the people who like it really, really appreciate it, and it's valid.
And this was in the 80s, so, like, these transitions, I know, I won't shut up about it.
It's okay.
But, like, these transitions didn't happen when we went to the movies. Like, this wasn't the shit we were watching.
Yeah, they did incredible with this.
Yeah.
They did really good with it. It looked really good. The visuals were creepy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to tell you this movie's going to scare you.
No.
But it has some
His fingers might.
Oh, Jesus. Her hair might blow your mind, but... But other than that, like, yeah, it's not... When I was 3, this was the scariest movie
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, you showed this to a 3-year-old, it's probably going to scare the shit out of them.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie. It's a fun watch. If you go into it not thinking it's overly serious, you're probably going to have a great time with it. Yeah. So I like it. I definitely recommend watching it. It's got some nudity in it, so that's something to be aware of. I personally, if I ever invite people over, I avoid movies with nudity in it. Just because I think it's awkward. Somebody's going to probably be uncomfortable with it. So,
and I probably would double think the whole, like, he's a clearly very adult male and she's clearly a teenager.
Yeah, it's really creepy. It's really off-putting.
Like, but if that wasn't in
so is Twilight. So,
right?
Like, he's only 400.
And she's a teenager.
And she's 16. Like, it's fine. That's not weird. He died at 19.
And you know, oddly enough, until this minute, I've never thought about that.
Really?
Well, I guess because they look the same age. But, like, in this movie, there's so clearly an age difference. Like, it's just weird. And, like, I don't know. I've never thought about the Bella Everett thing. You messed my brain up.
That's a horror movie in of itself for a whole new list of reasons. Yeah. I
guess that would be a horror movie.
That's creepy.
Okay, so in case nobody's figured it out, I am a horror newbie.
Yeah. This is the first time watch for you, but like most movies are a first time watch for you.
Yeah.
I am not. Like I said, I watched this at 3. I was obsessed with horror movies at 3. My favorite movie when I was 2 to 3, not exaggerating, not joking, was Army of Darkness. Hands down. Fight me. I love that movie. And then when The Mummy came out, that was my Tremors. So, like, there's a lot of movies that really... And this is one of them that didn't become one of my favorites. I didn't even know what it was called for the longest time. But I just remembered that the visuals just locked in. Like, I just remembered them. They left a very distinct mark. I also was terrified of gremlins. And I was certain one of them was going to come out of the toilet and bite my butt. It was a thing. So, fun facts.
Fun facts about Jess.
Fun facts about my childhood fears. They were weird.
Basements and gremlins coming out of the
I wasn't even scared of basements. I was scared of one specific basement, and I still went. But I was like, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die.
You just embraced your death.
I did. I was accepting it. There were 2 things I was genuinely afraid of. I was afraid gremlins were going to come up and bite my butt.
Okay.
And I was afraid that Emotep from The Mummy was going to come out from under my bed and suck me dry.
Wow.
Those were the 2 things that scared me.
I was afraid a parrot was going to come out of the toilet and bite my butt because if any of you remember, there was a song about it that we used to sing on the bus. And I cannot remember the song other than there was a parrot in I think it was like a porta potty that like bites somebody's butt.
I think I have better fears.
I agree.
Mine are more fun. But so that's this. Is there anything you would change about this movie?
Yeah, I would cut out the nightclub and that dance scene entirely.
I think I would cut Amy entirely. I would make this an outright gay movie.
So the only reason I wouldn't cut Amy entirely is because as much as I'm complaining about the changes, her as a vampire looks badass.
She's a cool fucking vampire. She's the reason. I mean, she's on the cover for a reason.
Yeah.
She's cool looking. That fucking face piece is incredible.
Piece is beyond. And that is the only reason that I'm not like, Amy's gotta go.
Yeah, and Dandridge looks cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it. But she is hands down the coolest, creepiest looking vampire. Yeah. And I think the hair adds to it. I think if you had short hair on top of it, it wouldn't work.
No, it wouldn't. And I would also, like, if it was a perfect world and I was writing everything, this would be a gay movie. I would embrace the gay.
Yeah, own the gay.
Own it.
Own it. Like, it's fine. Nobody cares.
But that's it. Like, I love
like
the
this
effects.
movie. This is a good movie. So this is a thumbs up for you. You're
this is, okay, and, like, nobody send me hate mail. But this is an 8 out of 10 for me. I'm not rating it so much.
I won't rate it because I think ratings are really weird, and it's weird that I'm rating most things an 8 or like a 4. Those are usually the 2. I go with like 7 or 3. That's it. So I don't rate.
This is up there for me, and I didn't go into it thinking I'm about to watch a movie that like is gonna make an impact. We were just farting around, seriously.
Yeah, we really were just playing. So, alright, well, there you have it. I recommend it. I do recommend a watch. If you've watched it 20 years ago and you're like, I remember that movie, like, rewatch it. Give it a good second watch. If you're not sure about the gay agenda look of it, rewatch it and put those goggles on, and then you're gonna be like, holy crap.
Yeah.
As somebody who's gay, let me promise you, it's gay.
It's very gay.
It's a very gay movie. This is very, it's just...
He comes out the closet.
He comes out
come on.
And he's never not chewing fruit. Like...
And he's never not, like, dressed like a put-together... Like, Billy's dressed almost like lumberjacky at times.
Yeah,
which,
he's
again,
very normal.
Yeah. But, like, Dandridge is, like, red scarf and flowy jacket.
Yeah,
and,
I could try and explain that
rings on fingers, and he's got that ring.
Yeah, I could try and explain the outfit of Dandridge away, but I don't think you can explain the hanging on your partner away.
Oh.
Like, you're literally hanging on him.
Literally hanging on him.
It's very similar to, like, Stu and Billy in Scream.
Yes.
Very
so
similar.
happy you just said that.
Very similar. And people have debated that forever, that, like, maybe Stu had a different...
This is the first time you and I have ever had that conversation.
Yeah.
But I have always thought that, and you and I have just never talked about it.
Yeah. So it's a very highly debated thing, but I think this has very much the same vibe. It's very clearly in the same realm. And if you are a gay person, you'll probably relate to it a little bit more because of that.
Yeah.
So I like it. I think it's fun.
It got me a couple times. Like, the Evil Ed thing, like, hit me right in the gay heart of, like,
yeah, like, that
shit.
makes sense. You appeal in a way that, you know,
like,
some people just don't get.
Yeah, like, you don't fit in. I'm one of you. I legitimately teared up.
Oh,
and
my
this
God.
This is not a movie that you're gonna, like, tear up at. But I'm a big old sappy sack. And, like, that just is what it is.
I teared up.
I teared. And then I teared up when he died, and, like...
Yeah, you did. You did.
Did you forget?
I forgot you died, or cried when Evil Dead died. Wow. Cried when Evil Ed died. Alright, with that, we're leaving. Follow us on social media. We are on Instagram at frightfiendspodcast. We are on YouTube newly. And we are on podcasts, Spotify. We're working on Google Play, iTunes, Apple, the whole nine. So try and find us everywhere. We are on Patreon. We're just getting started on Patreon as well. But follow us, email us if you have any questions or have any requests. We're at frightfiendspodcast@gmail.com. Is there anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, with that, I'm Jess.
And I'm Mandy.
Thanks for listening.